So, I'm making this video about doing research and how it can help you. But I'm making this video to make the point that research is good, knowledge is good, science sometimes good. But if you only do a little bit of research, it can actually make you dumber. I'm constantly researching, I'm constantly reading. I do my own research, which has been successful. I actually I've never liked to drink alcohol because literally it takes me from all my research and reading and writing. But I've done a lot of research. I'm 45 years old now. And I'm just now like really starting to master my own health. Like things are actually like going my way. Things are like moving. And this is after at least 2 decades of trying and researching and doing things and having success that whole time, like some success, but not really like really moving it to a point where like someone would look at me and be like, yeah, she's full of vitality. I mean, I could go into my health history and, you know, I think in general in America in like the 1970s, most people were pretty healthy, right? You see the pictures of people on beaches, they're all thin, they all are tanned. I mean, maybe it's because those are the only people who went to beaches, I don't know. But then you have the 1980s and like everything went wrong. A lot of people became overweight, obese. A lot of younger people developed diabetes, heart problems, all of it. And my point is, whatever was working for us in the 1970s was by luck. It was by happenstance. Or there was a body of knowledge that got built up that somehow got wiped out. And so we don't actually know what translates to health. And what I notice is, I mean, everyone seems to think you work out, eat right. What does that even mean? Because there's a lot of different workouts you can do, and they do a lot of different things, and there's a lot of different diets you can do, and they all have different, I mean, obviously eating one diet versus another is going to have a different impact on your body. And what I notice is if someone seems to be successful, seems to be healthy, seems to be good looking, and is doing the things that we think you should be doing to make it, we applaud that person. Obviously, eating right and working out and being a gym junkie should translate to being some hot, fit person. And if you're doing that and it translates, you're successful. But it really doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. And my massive amount of research, I think, has proven that. I'm going to try to advance that message. But if you do just a little bit of research, and so what I'm trying to say is that if we did not get away from our roots, from that 1970s diet that we used to have, where your parents would tell you, drink milk to build your bones, or eat dinner, like, and then after dinner, it used to be known that you stop eating. Kitchen is closed. Like, we used to have some pretty healthy practices, and no one was educated or learned. They just did them. It was built up over time. And then comes in the scientists telling you that butter is bad for you, and eggs are bad for you, and whatever else. And so a little bit of research, a little bit of science makes you stupid. That if you would stick to your intuitive knowledge and tradition, you'd probably be better. You'd probably be better off with that than having a little bit of science. If you really know what you're doing, and someone really commits their life to researching one particular thing, yeah, they can advance humanity. But my experience has been they really, really, really have to know what they're doing. And so I would give the example in my journey that when I have endometriosis. I'll probably always have endometriosis. It's a pelvic disease where uterine cells grow in places other than the uterus. One of the books I read was about what surgery to get. And I actually wasn't looking at getting surgery. I just read that it's a possible solution to endometriosis. And so the guy had all sorts of thoughts on how old surgeries weren't working, and he had this brand new whiz-bang surgery that did work. And I bought into all of it, and I went and got surgery. And I regret it. I don't regret it because one reason I don't regret it is because immediately after surgery, I got pregnant with my third child. I'm very grateful for that. But I think I might have got pregnant anyway. And what ended up happening is it weakened my uterus such that I had all sorts of pregnancy complications. Now, no one told me that. I am just now really starting to resolve my endometriosis. Again, I'm 45 years old. In another 5 to 10 years, I won't even have menstrual cycles. But I did it by giving up coffee. Now, I knew that coffee was bad for endometriosis because I read a book that is available in hard copy only, that was published in the 90s, that said as much. That said, reducing coffee, reducing dairy, reducing sugar helps endometriosis, adding vegetables and whatever. I have found that some of that information is wrong, but the information about eliminating coffee, reducing sugar, and reducing dairy, those are all true. And I found it in a book that's out of print at this point, that is only available in hard copy, but is not in our face every day as a top seller, is what I'm trying to say. So I did find it. My research did help me. And yeah, when I look back, it's like my endometriosis got really bad in my late 20s, and I started drinking coffee regularly in my late 20s. I drank it a little bit in college, but not much, and then, I started working, and they always have the coffee pot, and I would go and get it, and yeah. And I gave up coffee on July 9th, 2025. And within my next cycle after that, I had noticeably less bleeding, less cramps. The second cycle after that, I had far less cramps. Overall, better mental health. One of the biggest things about giving up coffee is I developed much better heart health. I started to be able to work out harder. I go for walks every day. I was able to go farther and faster. I didn't realize coffee was causing my heart health to be terrible. It's not something I noticed. And once I gave up coffee and had the heart health, I'm like, oh, wow. This is what was possible the whole time. I didn't even know. We're always looking for disease, and we're never looking for the metric of, wow, you're really healthy. That if you are doing well, if your heart feels good, if you can walk fast, if you can do things, like, you have heart health. You don't need to be looking for problems. I digress a bit. But my reading on endometriosis made me feel like I was smart and on top of it, and I was going to go get the advanced surgery, and I did. I did find a more specialized surgeon to do the surgery, and I did get pregnant after it. But there's just no getting around it, that if you hack at your body, you damage it. There's just no getting around it. Surgery is like a last resort. And my understanding about diet and stuff comes from a tremendous amount of reading, where I put the whole picture together. And basically, or I'll give another example. If you have digestive problems, just take a probiotic. I read that, and I bought into it, and I recommended it to people, and I regret it. There's no way that taking this probiotic, which is like a bacteria, and just introducing it to your body, hey, let's try this. There's no way that this goes well. Like, it's so stupid. And I'm not the only one who's basically commented that there's no way this is actually like a good thing. But as I read more about the human body, like I thoroughly went through and tried to understand how the body works from the time you eat food to the time it gets to your cell, to any given one of your cells. And understanding that really helped me understand health a lot better. It took a long time to read through a lot of books to figure all that out. And pretty much what I gather from many of the books is that various toxins ruin that process. If you eat too much iron and you don't have anything to regulate the iron, it just bunches up in your cells, and it basically literally causes your cells to rust. Whereas we have iron pushed on us. It's in everything. It's in our cereals, it's in our breads. We think we're doing a great thing. We think that we're adding iron to our blood, but if you don't have all the other stuff that iron requires, and it's a very delicate process, it's not doing good things for you. Too much iron is related to heart disease and more things, and that's especially true for men because they do not bleed every month, and so men tend to have too much iron, and it causes oxidative stress. So that's just one thing. Some other things are like coffee. It damages, it just does damage, and I can just tell you it does. Same with alcohol. Some of our research scientists have told us that alcohol is good for us. It just isn't. And the same with plant poisons is a big one. Foods like spinach, cashews, Swiss chard, they actually have a high number of oxalates in them, and they're not that great for you. And that's another thing that was pushed on us the past 20 years. Eat the skin. Eat your potatoes with the skin. That's where all the nutrients are. Well, actually, that's where all the plant defenses are, because anything that's a vegetable is an actual plant. Like a fruit is something that leaves the plant with the seed, and it doesn't have free will, but it wants you to eat it because then you take it and spread the seed. Vegetables aren't that way. Vegetables are the actual plant. They don't want you to eat them, and so they have all sorts of defense mechanisms. And one of the big ones is oxalates. And oxalates basically irritate animals' mouths when they eat them. And so when they eat whatever, they're like, no, I didn't like that. Well, we humans are very clever, and we figure out ways to like blend or chop up these vegetables so it doesn't irritate us. But we're still taking in these plant poisons, which are like a sharp sand. They're like sharp sediment that get deposited anywhere and everywhere in your body and build up over time. We know they cause kidney stones. Many people think they cause many other problems. And another big one that ruins the body is vegetable oils, which are found in pretty much all fast food, all junk food, and basically everything you could ever buy prepackaged at the store. So understanding all of that has helped me attain health. And that took an enormous amount of reading, an enormous amount of understanding of how the human body works. That vegetable oils are like taking a blowtorch to your arteries. It ruins the cells. Too much iron rusts your cells. There's a tremendous amount of chemistry involved. And actually understanding how the body works, like understanding what you're dealing with first. Don't just go straight to understanding which surgery is best or which probiotic is best. Or whatever. That you need to go back to basics and understand it. And it just requires a tremendous amount of reading and understanding. And I tried to give my children an education on that. I gave them a health unit study to go through all that. And they were extremely appreciative. And it was super interesting to them to learn how the body works, how the body digests food, how it goes through the blood. It's not every day that your mom takes an interest in your spleen and what it does. But we went over every organ. We went over the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, all of it. And they were very appreciative of it. I don't know that they got everything I taught, but I know they got a lot out of it. And I know the one thing that they got out of it, the big thing is think about all things that you do to your body. Think about what food you put in. Think about what drugs you use. Think about what you inject into your bloodstream. It all matters. And basically what I'm saying is a little bit of science is dangerous. In fact, most people just trust whatever comes in the name of science. They don't even look beyond that. But you have to look beyond that. If you're not looking beyond that, that's not science. A little bit of research makes you dumber. And if you've been on this earth for a couple decades, I would say at least 40, if not 45, you might have enough wisdom to actually pass on to other generations. And if you do, it's now your responsibility to explain how something works and help people. That if you can actually identify cause and effect correctly, you're doing something great for humanity. And it's actually very, very hard to identify cause and effect correctly. Most of us get it wrong. Most of science gets it wrong. Science is always disproving itself. Anyway, thanks for watching.